Hello, it's us again. We're going to do some another tutorial today. We're going to do more on equations, slightly harder than last time. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to do 5x plus 6 equals 2x plus 3. Now with equations, it's that idea of they will balance as long as you do the same thing to both sides of our equal sign. This is our pivot point. If you imagine that this is scales, the equals is our pivot point, and it doesn't matter at all what we do as long as we do it to both sides. I want my x's on one side, so I'm going to try and move this over to here, and I want all my numbers over the other side, and then we'll be able to find out what x is equal to. So to get rid of 2x, I need to take off 2x from both sides. And you have to do like terms with like terms. So I've got 5x take away 2x, which will give me 3x. I've still got that there, plus 6, equals, well this is gone, that's now 0. This is still there, 3. So now I want to get rid of this 6, so I'm going to take off 6 to put it over to this side, take off 6. I can do the same thing to both sides and the equation still balances. So I have got 3x, this is now gone because that's 0, equals 3 take away 6 is going to be minus
3.
Well done, minus 3. So if 3x equals minus 3, to find out what 1x is, I divide by 3.
Minus 1.
Very good. I divide by 3 on both sides, so x equals minus 1. Very good, Ben. Okay, I'll move that down so you can see the next one. So we're going to have 2x plus 4 equals 6x plus 12. And again, it's that same idea of having x's one side and numbers the other side. So I want to get this over to here, so I'm going to take it off. So take off 6x from both sides, take off 6x, remembering you have to have like terms lined up underneath each other. So this is now 2x take away 6x, so that's going to be minus 4x, because you're sitting on 2x and you're taking off 6, so it's going to go to minus 4x. I've still got that, plus 4 equals, well this has now gone because 6x, take away 6x is nothing, but I've still got that 12. Now I want to get rid of this 4, so it's a positive 4, so I'm going to take it off. Take off 4, take off 4. So minus 4x is going to be equal to, well 12 take away 4 is going to be 8. So minus 4x equals 8, so I divide by minus 4, divide by minus 4 on both sides. So x is going to be 8 divided by minus 4. If I write that over here like that, I hope you can see it. 8 divided by minus 4. 4's into 4 goes once, 4's into 8 goes twice, and there's nothing for that negative to cancel out with, so that has to stay there. So 8 divided by minus 4 is going to equal minus 2. Okay, I'll do another one. So we're going to do, let's check you can see it. I think that's okay. There. If I do 12 minus 2x equals 18 minus 5x, so I'm going to get rid of this negative 5 and make it come over to here. So I'm going to add on 5x, add on 5x. So I've got that 12 still there, so 12 equals negative 2x plus 5x. Well, that's going to, oops, that shouldn't be an equal, that should be plus. Minus 2x plus 5x is going to be 3x equals, well, this has now gone because minus 5x add 5x is nothing. So I'm just left with this 18 over here. Now I'm going to take off 12 to get that number over to the other side. Take off 12. So I'm left with, see, 3x equals 18 minus 12, which equals 6. Well done, Benny. Now I divide by 3 on both sides, divide by 3. So, lovely job. X is going to be equal to 2. Okay, really nice. Now, I wanted to show you ones with brackets as well. So we might have 4 brackets x plus 7 equals 20. So whenever you've got one like this, you need to expand the brackets first. And we did that yesterday or on Wednesday on our tutorial. So to expand this, I multiply the bracket by the thing sitting out, the number sitting outside the bracket. So I do 4 times x and then I do 4 times 7. So 4 times x gives me 4x. 4 times 7, 4 sevens, Ben, do you know that? 28 equals, that's still there, 20. So the only thing that's affected by this 4 is the things in the bracket. So now we've expanded that bracket. And now we can solve this equation by removing that 28, take off 28, take off 28. So I've got 4x equals 20, take away 28. So that's going to be minus 8. Because I'm sitting on 20 and I'm taking off 28. So it becomes minus 8. So now I divide by 4. Divide by 4. So x is going to be minus 8 divided by 2 will be minus
4.
Minus 8 divided by 4. Sorry?
Minus 2.
Minus 2. Very good. Okay, and that's because I've got minus 8 over 4. So 4's into 4 goes once, 4's into 8 goes twice. That doesn't cancel with anything, so it has to stay. I'll do another one with brackets. So we've got 8 brackets x minus 3 equals minus 8. Well, before we start solving it, we have to expand these brackets. So again, I multiply everything in the bracket by the number sitting outside. So I'm going to have 8 times x is 8x. 3 times 8 times minus 3, well, 3 8s are 24, and it's a positive times a negative, so it's going to be a negative. 3 8s are 24, so it's negative 24, because remember we have positive times a negative equals a negative. Negative times a negative equals a positive. So when the signs are the same and you multiply them, they become positive. When the signs are different and you multiply them, they become negative. So 8x minus 24 equals minus 8. Now I can solve it. I can add on 24 to both sides. Add on 24. So I've got 8x equals minus 8 plus 24. Well done, equals 16. Very nice, Benny. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 8. Divide by 8. 16 divided by 8 gives me 2. Okay, and there's another type which would be quite useful, which are on the GCSE syllabus. So we've got x over 2 plus 3 equals 13. Now these ones are I think they're slightly more complicated, but it's the same idea. We want to get rid of this 3 and put it over here. So I'm going to take off 3 from both sides, take off 3. So I'm left with x over 2 equals 13 take away 3 is 10. Now this is saying that x over 2 is equal to 10. In other words, half of x is equal to 10. Whenever I've got a denominator, to get rid of that, I multiply it out to solve the equation. So I times by 2. I times by 2. And how this works is these two 2's cancel one another out. So I'm left with x equals 20. I'll do another one of those. So we've got x over 3 plus 6 equals 21. So I want to get rid of the number here. So I'm going to take off 6, take off 6. So x over 3 equals 21 minus 6, which equals 15. So a third of x, or x over 3, equals 15. So I want to get rid of this denominator. So I multiply by 3, multiply by 3. These cancel one another out. So I'm left with x is equal to 3 times 15. Well, 2 15s are 30, so 3 15s will be 45. I'll do one more like that, and then I'll do one other problem solving question for you to help. So we're going to have x over 4 minus 3 equals 12. So again, I want to get rid of this 3, so I add on 3, add on 3. So that gives me x over 4, these have gone, equals 12 add 3 is 15. I want to, so x over 4 equals 15, so a quarter of x is 15. So to find out what x is, I multiply by 4 on both sides. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, as long as it's both sides it will work. Cancels out those 4's, and I'm left with x equals 15 times 4, well 15 times 2 is 30, so 15 times 4 will be 60. Okay, so that's those ones done. Then there's quite a nice problem solving one I thought you might like. I'll show you in the book. I think you can see that, hope you can. Okay, can't see 8, there we go. So we've got this picture here. It's a quadrilateral, and a triangle has got all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Well, all the angles in a quadrilateral, a four-sided shape, add up to 360. And the question is saying, use the sum of the angles in the quadrilateral to construct an equation. So I can do that because I know all the angles add up to 360. So I can say this plus this, which is 90, that means 90 degrees, that square there, plus 2x plus 108 is equal to 360. Then we can collect up like terms, and then we can find out what the value of x is. So I'll write that down. You can't see the picture anymore, but I'll just write down the angles. So my first angle was x minus 15. So x minus 15 plus the 90 degree angle plus my 2x plus my 108 all together equals 360. Well, I'm going to collect up like terms. So I've got an x here and 2x here. So I can collect them up together to give me 3x. Now I can collect up my numbers. So I've got 108, I've got 90, and I've got minus 15. So I'm going to do 108 plus 90. That gives me 198. Those two added together. And then I'm going to take off 15. That gives me 183 equals 360. And that's an equation we recognise. That's like we've been doing earlier on. Now I'm going to solve it. So I'm going to take off my 183, take off my 183. So 3x is going to be equal to 360, take away 183, which equals 177. To find out what 1x is equal to, I divide by 3 on both sides, divide by 3. So x is going to be equal to 59. So those kind of questions come up on the GCSE paper, and then they might ask you to work out what the angles are. And in this case, you would then do, our x value is 59, so you would then, I hope you can see it, I'm not sure where that's coming. Okay, so you do 59, take away 15 for that angle. That one is 108 as it is, doesn't change it because the x isn't in there. This one would be 2 lots of 59, and this one doesn't change, it's 90. Okay, got one other one and then we'll finish. It's another problem solving one. You can see that. I can't see where the book is. Okay, here we go. So this here, the rectangle here and the triangle have the same perimeter. Set up an equation to help find the value of x and then solve the equation. So we know that the perimeter of this is equal to the perimeter of this. Well, the perimeter of this is going to be 10 plus 8 plus 6. So that's what the perimeter of this is equal to. And we know that this part here is going to be the same as that because it's a rectangle. So this here is 2x minus 3, and this here is 6 because a rectangle has this length and this length are equal, and this length and this length are equal. So again, I can make up an equation by saying 2x minus 3 plus 6 plus 2x minus 3 plus 6 is equal to 6 plus 8 plus 10. So I'll write that down and then collect up like terms. So we're going to have 2x minus 3 plus 6 plus 2x minus 3 plus 6 is equal to 10 plus 6 plus 8. So collecting up my like terms, so we've got 2x here and 2x here, so that's 4x. I've got 6 plus 6, which is 12. Take away 3, take away 3. So 12 take away 6 is going to be 6. Equals 10 plus 8 is 18 plus 6. Do you want to do that, Ben?
24.
Well done. Equals 24. And again, that's now looking like an equation that we're used to. So to solve it, I can take off 6 from both sides, take off 6 from both sides. So 4x is going to be equal to 24 take away 6. So it's going to be 18. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. So x is going to be 18 divided by 4 equals 4.5, 4.5. So we've solved the equation. Okay. Hope you found that useful, and see you next week.